Welcome to this week's Wacky News of the Week for the week ending August the 17th, 2012. You can just call him Mr. Lucky if you want. Richard Brown of Taunton, Massachusetts, wanted to buy a $5 Blue Ice 7s lottery ticket, but the distracted clerk gave him a sizzling 7 ticket instead. Brown, he didn't make a fuss about it. He said he just rolled with it, which turned out to be a pretty good decision. The ticket was a $1 million winner. He took the one-time lump sum payment and pocketed about $430,000 after taxes. It looks like robbers have stopped using guns. A robber entered Elmer's restaurant in Rosenberg, Oregon, vanishing a can of bug spray. The bartender tried to swat it away, but got sprayed directly in the face. The robber grabbed the money from the cash box and fled. It seems these days people just can't live without their cell phone close at hand. But if you're in Beverly Hills and you dine at Eva restaurant and you leave your cell phone with the staff while you're being seated, they'll give you a 5% discount. Owner Mark Gold says about half of the diners relinquish their cell phones for the discount. And he said it's not to stop diners from using their phones, but to create an environment where diners connect to each other instead of to technology. In Charleroi, Pennsylvania, 27-year-old David Thompson went into the police station to give them some undisclosed information. But while he was there, an officer was logging into evidence some drugs that they had seized. When the officer wasn't looking, Thompson decided to help himself to the drugs. Once he was outside, the police confronted him, and he confessed and said, "I couldn't help myself. That bud smells so good." When Grace Edwards of Chester, Connecticut, was selling her home, a prospective buyer asked to see a history of the utility charges. They noticed that 2 sodium vapor street lamps were listed on the bill. Grace called Connecticut Light and Power and was told that the previous owner was a contractor and had agreed to pay for the lights. The power company removed the lights from her bill, but refused to give her a refund for the past charges. After many phone calls and letters to the company, which they never responded to, Grace contacted the state's Office of Consumer Counsel. Well, Grace got her refund, plus interest for a grand total of $10,491.21. A spokesperson for the power company said they had apologized to Grace for the error and the inconvenience, and said the customer service she received was below their standard, and her case would be used for future training. In Sparks, Nevada, during the movie The Bourne Legacy, a 56-year-old man accidentally shot himself in the butt. The man has a permit to carry a concealed weapon, but while he was trying to get comfortable in his seat, the gun fell out of his pocket and discharged when it hit the floor. His injuries aren't life-threatening, and no one else was hurt, but police say the case will be sent to the city attorney for possible charges. 2 men entered 87-year-old Manuel Sanchez's Miami home and stole 500 canaries. The next day, they sold them to at least 3 pet stores for $30 each for a haul of $15,000. So far, about 150 of the birds have been recovered. Police have video surveillance camera photos of the suspects and are asking the public for its help to identify the 2 men. At a wildlife park in Hundruck, Germany, 3 kangaroos escaped through the help of a wild young fox who had dug a hole under their cage's fence and another hole dug under the exterior fence by a wild boar. 2 of the kangaroos have been captured, but one of the escapees is still on the lam. In Williamsport, Pennsylvania, a man was spotted on the river floating face up with a life jacket on just below the dam. Suspecting the man had drowned, the police were called, and when they arrived, they had the coroner with them. Everyone was surprised when the man sat up. The swimmer, Joseph D'Angelo, said he didn't know anything was going on until a dragonfly landed on his nose, and he sat up. D'Angelo apologized for the confusion and said he was just trying to cool off from the hot summer heat, and he fell asleep. He said he was living life the best way he knows how. In Hainstead, Norway, around midnight on Thursday, a driver on a rural road saw a moose and swerved his car to miss it, but he didn't see a bear that was nearby and hit it instead. A local wildlife authority said, "We are currently tracking the bear, and we have found traces of blood indicating internal injuries." The driver was not injured, but his car did sustain substantial damage. While other parts of South Africa have seen elephant population reduced due to poachers and loss of habitat, the province of KwaZulu-Natal in the southeast of the country has seen a growth in population due to their conservation efforts. Now, to help control the elephant population and protect the forest and other natural resources from the elephant's appetite of 220 to 660 pounds of food a day, the province is looking to implement a program of injecting the females with a vaccine that triggers the immune system response to block sperm reception. Yes, that's right, elephant birth control. The vaccine is administered by DART, and an annual booster is required. It is said to be reversible, nearly 100% effective, and has no adverse impact on the elephant's health or behavior. Now, just the opposite is happening in the Vienna Zoo. For the first time, scientists have succeeded in impregnating an elephant with frozen sperm. A scan clearly shows a 4.2-inch, 5-month-old fetus with its trunk, legs, tail, eyes, and ears. It will be born sometime in August 2013 after a 630-day pregnancy for 26-year-old African elephant mom Tonga. In the past, elephants have been impregnated with fresh or refrigerated sperm, but frozen sperm can be transported further, and the female can be inseminated at her most fertile time. The sperm was taken from a sedated wild elephant in South Africa using electroejaculation. The project is known internally by the scientists as Operation Frozen Dumbo. And speaking of pregnancy, you've probably heard the saying, "Mama's baby, daddy's maybe." Well, in New York, men can now get peace of mind with a paternity test from an RV truck. The on-site test from the Who's Your Daddy van costs between $299 and $575. Vehicle owner-operator Jared Rosenthal says the mobile service is proving to be popular. He said, "They flag us down, they pull us over, they talk to us. Sometimes, because of the nature of the services, they want to be a little more discreet about it. But they do come, and they'll call the number." I wonder if Jared is from Indiana, because he named the company Who's Your Daddy? On a farm in Barossa Valley, Australia, an abandoned lamb with its black spots on a white base coat has been adopted by John and Julie Bolton's family Dalmatian named Zoe. The Boltons say Zoe has become fiercely protective of the newborn lamb, and not having any puppies at the present time, she is actually cleaning it and licking it and mothering it, and the lamb even tries to suckle Zoe's udder, but he gets his milk from a bottle held by Julie. That's the wacky news for this week. Be sure to come back next week for more of the world's crazy, weird, strange, and wacky news. And be sure to check out our website, www.thejestermagazine.com, for more fun.